We have Taryn Rose of Taryn Rose. We have a doctor in the room, everyone. Dr. Taryn Rose went to school to become an orthopedic surgeon, but instead followed her passion and began her own shoe company. Taryn has led 2 extremely successful footwear companies, with Taryn Rose Holdings bringing comfortable, affordable footwear to the masses. She is currently a co-founder and CEO of a technology startup called The Black Rose, to deliver a unified shopping cart across the web as a buy engine for the internet. Thank you, Taryn, for being here.
Thank you.
Now, each founder and CEO has risen to the top of your industry and exemplifies confident leadership. Today, we're going to learn about your business models and how you stay innovative in the marketplace. Your business model is your growth engine in your business. There are 3 parts that make it complete. You are to create value, deliver value, and capture profits from that value. So my first question of all of you is, what was your business model when you started your business, and what is your business model today? Taryn, you want to jump in there?
Sure.
All right.
With my new technology startup, The Black Rose, we started very focused on the consumer part, so direct to consumer, by having our website and app being developed. But then I soon realized that in order to reach my goal of creating a $1 billion valued company, I needed to be much broader and be a B2B2C, meaning that we will provide software as a service to all of the businesses that are direct to consumers as well. So when I was selling Taryn Rose shoes, my customers were not actually the end consumers. They were Neiman's, Nordstrom, Saks. So I was a B2B2C. Now, of course, I marketed to the end consumers, but so that's how I viewed it. And I'm really happy that I made the transition. I'm very comfortable with this model because I've done it before.
And in terms of consistency, focus, right, on brand, staying there, and just in terms of Taryn, want to get to you because you're a serial entrepreneur, so
right.
You're consistently changing.
That is my consistency.
So I want to get into your serial entrepreneur story and
right.
kind of what you've learned in your first business and how you're translating that into success in your next business.
Sure. And sometimes people think, well, the dots don't really connect, but I actually see it connecting because in my career as a surgeon, I learned how to be very methodical, to look at things in a systematic way, which is a skill that you need in business as well. From my first business with the shoes, I learned about branding and marketing, having a very clear message. We were all about stylish, comfortable shoes. That's all you have to say, and women would be like, oh. And we delivered that not only in the branding, but all the way through to the product, and even our customer experience. We always focused on, is this making life easier for our customers, which includes the department store. So I was one of the first to bring technology into our company in order to deliver that experience. So from that, I always had a love for technology, and then when I sold my company, I was very lucky, thank the Lord, that I sold, and basically the wire came in 2 weeks before the Great Recession started. So yeah, I got to sit out and and watch the storm. After I basically went around and bought everything on sale. It was like a flash sale everywhere.
Yeah.
All of these things that I had coveted, all of these years. So when I started to think about what would I do next, what happened was I started hanging out with some technology guys, and what I saw was that while they were brilliant at the technology platforms, they had no clue on the consumers, the brand, the marketing at all. And so I took my experience from the fashion retail world into technology, and because I wanted to utilize the technology in a way that all of us can understand, and still the one underlying theme is to make your life easier.
Can you share your insight into distributing your value through technology?
Sure. Well, first of all, people ask, well, why are you doing this now? And what I observed is that when Susan started, there wasn't much online.
No, there wasn't.
Right?
No, there was
so that
hardly
was a different
anything.
phase,
Yeah.
right? Now there's so much online that it's difficult to filter through it all. So I thought to myself, okay, if I went into Neiman Marcus, the brick and mortar, I could ask the salesperson, Penny, what do I wear to a TED Talk? After I explained what a TED Talk was. But if I jumped on neimanmarcus.com, I just land on a page and maybe I could look for dresses, through the filter. But there was no one to help me curate through, particularly what was good for me. And the other thing that I like to advise women is plan your business on what's happening a few years down the line, not what's happening now, because you might be behind the ball. So what I do see is that we're moving to mobile. And have you ever tried to check out on a mobile phone or even the iPad? It's a pain in the you-know-what. So we developed also the technology to be able to check out all in one basket, in one checkout. It's a universal shopping cart. So again, all I was thinking about is how do I make the online shopping experience simpler and easier for particularly women like ourselves who are very busy. So I do hope that you'll go online and register. We're not live yet, but we'll give, when we launch, we'll give the initial people discounts and stuff. So please go online and register. Theblackrose.com.
Taryn, we're talking about partnership playbooks
Right.
and team playbooks. I want to know if you can share some of your experience.
Well, I'd like to make a comment about the capital fundraising part because they're in a different phase, and I've been in multiple phases with all of the businesses that I've been in. And what I can say is that I think it's not that women are not approaching venture capital, is that a lot of times the venture capitalists don't really understand the point of view, because as women, we tend to build businesses with the female end consumers in mind. So, for example, I had at that time a $20 million shoe company, and a banker actually said, "What woman buys $300 shoes?" and I was applying for a line of credit. This wasn't venture at all. And I was like, well, maybe you should go home and ask your wife.
That's it, right?
And then so he did, and the next day he called and he's like, okay, she explained it, and so I hope I didn't get her in trouble. But I'm experiencing the same thing in this round, in that I've met with male VCs who, it's not their fault. They're like, well, I don't shop online. Is it really that much of a pain to check out? So it's not that it's a conspiracy to keep money from us. It's just that there's an inherent difference in the VCs who are mostly men. And perhaps part of that changing needs to be done in, more women in the VC world, as well as hopefully the men will start listening to their female advisors in their lives to not miss out on opportunities.
What's the main ingredient that has tipped you into growth mode in your business?
You have to keep innovating, even though you have success. Like everything is changing so fast that if you're not, ears to the ground and kind of listening to what your consumers are saying and seeing what's going out there and continuing to change along the way, I think you run into a lot of problems. But I would say innovation and iteration has definitely been the thing that has fueled our growth.
We also brought in a professional CEO, which was a tough decision to make, but we also realized that we couldn't do this all on our own, and we needed smart people around us that we trusted to help bring us to the next level.
Once you have your core customers, if you keep adding product lines that fit their needs, to me that's the easiest way to grow. Because I already had Neiman's as an account, for example, and they were looking for, Taryn, you've got day wear down, can we have evening? And so we just expanded that. And then, Macy's wanted a lower price line, so we tiered down. So you stick with those core customers and meet their needs.
How has social media been a part of the growth factor in your business? if at all?
When I started my shoe company in 1998,
There was
no
media.
social media at all. I'm like, what? And I think my assistant signed me up for Facebook at one point. And yet now, even before we are live, Beth Whiffen is somewhere in here. She's great. Runs social media for us. So, because I know that it takes time to build that community. So even before we have a live product, we're already thinking about the social media side. So that I've lived both ways. It's interesting.
Today we focused a lot on confidence at the conference. I just want to get a sense of where do you get your confidence from? Your confidence.
For me, it's preparation. I was a competitive athlete when I was young, and so it was always about practice and preparation. I played competitive tennis, and in the middle of the hot Missouri summer, I would practice every day because I knew that the girls who had the means to be at the country club weren't practicing, and I would be twice as strong as they were. So when I say preparation, it's not just the mind things, but back to what Ali said, it's also about your appearance. That's why I'm doing this new service online, because I do think that how you appear and how you dress helps in how you feel about yourself and how you project your confidence. To me, fashion is not frivolous. It's a very valuable tool.